Hi everyone, I am Noelle with Noelle Rollins Art. So who of us has had issues where we owe some money? It's not a fun feeling, and in fact it can often slow down our progress on our business and make it really hard to jump full-time into being an artist when we owe people money. So I want to share a little bit about how me and my husband a few years ago paid off just over $47,000 in under 2 years of consumer debt. It was a lot of credit cards and other loans and cars and stuff that just, we didn't even know where the money had gone. Let's be honest. It was just there. Thousands of dollars a month in owing people for stuff. And we were sick of it. We were sick of being in debt. We were sick of owing money. And it was limiting our choices of how we could live our life. So whether it's to be a full-time artist or whether you want to work part-time, be a stay-at-home parent, the options are endless. If you want to travel and this debt is slowing you down from doing that, I want to share a little bit about what we did, and I'll link to the blog where I post all the exact details all about it. So, all right, let's go. I'm going to occasionally be looking over here to make sure I don't miss stuff off of my list. So we started paying things off in 2012. So this is a couple years ago now. And then it was about 2014 where we actually really just decided, like, we're going 100% in, not casually talking a lot about paying things off. Instead, we were sick of like this. Sometimes the half doing stuff is so much more exhausting than just buckling down and just doing things. So the big thing for us was the why. And I think that's for anything. It's why. What is going to make you choose to make something from scratch rather than just go out to eat? You're starving. Maybe you just left the kids' sports and you just want to go through a drive-thru. What's going to be the thing that makes you go home and cook something, or think of in the morning prepping something or putting something in the crock pot, or saying no to some fun things for a longer term, better life situation? Be really clear on your why, because that is going to be the constant motivator that you're going to hold up to every choice while you pay off debt. So let's see. First thing was we set a budget. We decided, and we were really clear about what things we actually needed to spend money on, how much money it was. Was there areas we could cut money out of the budget? In every area that we could, we tried to do that. And truthfully, the first few months, there was probably like, we thought we were cut back as far as we could. And then as we got more in the groove, we were able to cut some stuff back further. Like entertainment, we spent virtually nothing. We found free ways to do things. I'm a really big believer that we can always find fun things to do for free, whether it's a picnic or a hike, making our own fun. We could do a movie night on like the projector we already owned and have it outside. Make things fun that you already have. I have spreadsheets. I have spreadsheets for everything. One of them is a different sheet for every month. And I have all of the income, all of the outgoing bills. I put when I've paid it, so I always know how much is still left to be paid. I put my art income on there. I just keep everything together so I can see, like, okay, groceries this month. I've been doing that since I was a teenager, so it's helped me when it came to actually creating a budget. I had a really good head start to know what we spent on things. So I highly recommend, if just even beginning that to give you clarity on where your money is going is going to be huge. The other thing is working as a team. If you are married, the buy-in of both of you is going to be crucial, and that can be really frustrating if you're not. So I highly encourage that. Let's see. One of the things we had to do that was really difficult was we set our restaurant budget for $30 a month, and that was for a family of 4. And one of the hardest parts was, like, my husband's family would love to meet up once or twice a month and go have dinner together at a restaurant. So that easily was a few $100s a month being spent on that. And we love spending time with them, but we knew in order to meet this goal, we'd either have to switch to like, hey, can we barbecue in someone's yard, or we're just gonna have to say no. And that did not always go over the easiest. People have their feelings hurt. maybe didn't understand. I'm sure it freaks some people out where why all of a sudden we're saying no to everything. Like, are we in trouble? Is someone sick? You know, they don't understand unless you're in that zone. It can feel really drastic, but we didn't regret any of it. I'll be really clear about that. A lot of pride was swallowed in saying no to a lot of things, and a lot of when I had to drive my used car into my friend's driveway, and I just felt like they were all there with their nice new SUVs and minivans, and there was a part of me that felt like just such crap. And I've known these girls since I was 12. Like, no one cared, and they love me anyways. But still, there's a point you reach when you're in your 30s where you just felt like you should have it all together by now. And the truth is, when we were in debt and we were spending, and it seemed more like we had it all together then than when we actually got really real. Because not only were you just not going further into debt, you were actually dumping money into getting out of debt. So it felt like we were broker than ever in certain ways. We sold a ton of stuff. I talk about that in a few other videos I have on here. We just sold and donated and gave away a ton of things. My husband packed a lunch for work every single day. We made our own laundry detergent, sometimes toothpaste, made from scratch recipes. We cut our cable. The last year we got a Roku. We had really cheap cell phone plans and cheap phones. We sold one of our cars. So that knocked out $12,000 in debt, and we drove a used car that was paid for. We got a better interest rate on our house. It was a big difference. It was like a 4% drop or something like that. So all of those things, I go into way more depth about all of the nitty gritty behind the scenes things in my blog. So I'll post those. But mostly it was, and this is the biggest thing, is how to maintain a mindset that's not a broke mindset. You have a goal, you're a functioning member of society, you're bringing money in, you're thriving, you're just choosing to be very strategic and cut back for a while in order to have a way better life after you get out of debt. And I am thankful every day that we did that. I can't even imagine now, years out, how different our life would be. In fact, we wouldn't have even been in this house. We were getting out of debt, and we didn't even know that this house was out there. But had we still been in debt, we wouldn't have been able to afford to switch and make that move to this house. So thankfully, we did that kind of blindly, just believing there was a reason we were supposed to be doing it. And the benefit, obviously, of me getting to work from home and continue to build my art business to where it's finally at a place now where it's a real income and it's good. But there were years there for a little while where it was up and down, and I'd have busy seasons and then slow seasons, and getting out of debt allowed me to be able to ride that a little bit smoother. The other thing is just, and I'm going to talk about this from another angle for a minute, it's not just to be able to be an artist or work your dream job or start a business. That's a huge thing. It's the freedom that comes with it. And the mind part of that cannot be like stated strongly enough. So I am often surrounded in, especially as an artist and I work a lot with like energy and things, and it's a really big thing within that community often to say you don't want to have a lack mindset. You want to have an abundant mindset. And I fully get that. But to also then get really real and not just live fully up here in like the woo-woo land of like, I'm just attracting money, I'm attracting money. Like, there's part of that. But there's also then like, oh crap, okay, here's the actual reality on the ground of where our debts are. Figuring out a plan. And then some of the woo part truthfully came into attracting more income. So I do fully believe in that. And I believe in the possibility and the mindset to not limit what's coming in. But I never for once, or at least I should say, I refuse to take on the mindset that it was somehow I was thinking in a term of lack and small-mindedness, or I was refusing income because we chose to like narrow down and focus fully on this debt. It was crucial in getting us in the next step. It was a temporary solution to a problem. So if you're facing that and you also have that feeling like you don't want to have to like go into the gross feeling of feeling the debt, and now you're focusing on the debt, and you know you don't want that energy. I get it. But to clear up the debt, you got to clear up the debt. So set up a plan, eliminate expenses where you can, and get super clear about it. And then the fun part is you can pour all of your extra energy into attracting more income, into building your art business, into growing as a person instead of being like anchored down by all of these debts you owe to other people and companies. So I hope that makes sense. Share if you have had this struggle or this, you've been able to overcome this in your life. It's not a fun thing. It's certainly not a glamorous thing, but as part of a business, I think it's made me more appreciative of every sale as well, and every choice that we've made. It makes me feel like I've matured through that process, and that I am anchored a little bit more in a really solid way. And truthfully, as we go for other dreams and other goals, I now know that we can do it. You have a point A that you're at, you have a point B where you're headed to, and you have a plan. And that gave me the confidence to understand that we can make that possible. So no matter what that is, if you can make a plan to get there, and you lay out the plan and then you bring in some magic along with it, is possible. So, all right, leave me a comment, you guys. Share with me your experience with this topic, or your hopes, your goals. What would you do if you got out of debt? What would be your why? I'd love to read about it. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. Have a great day.